Yes. Well, the next thing I'll do, I'm going to move some of this out of the way, and we're going to make a quick yogurt, a frozen yogurt bark.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of that?
Not frozen yogurt bark. You've made some like candy bar bark, things like that in the past, but the yogurt's a new one.
Yes. Yes, exactly. It's very similar, only we kind of are going in a little bit of an ice cream direction with this. So what you'll need for this, and I'll just pull them out. And do you need to go to a break, or do you want me to just keep going?
Not at all. Keep going.
Okay, so I'm going to move this out of our way. I dropped a little spinach leaf there. We'll move him. So I'm going to go to the fridge and show you what we need. We need 1 container of Greek yogurt. This has about, it's a pound, a little over a pound. It's got a couple of cups in it, so we need that. And I'm going to come over here. I have this all set up for us. This is all we need. So I've got a lined baking dish, baking pan. It's got parchment paper down.
Okay.
And we have, make sure when you do this that your baking sheet is rimmed like this, not one of the flat ones that doesn't have a rim, because you want something to contain the yogurt. You don't want it spilling off the edge, right? So that would be, yeah, that would be a mess to clean up, so you don't want that.
Right.
So this is full-fat Greek yogurt. It is flavored with honey and vanilla. You can get that kind. You can just get plain vanilla or whatever, or if you just have plain, you know, you can buy plain Greek yogurt. You could always flavor it up with a little honey or something, just to give it a little more flavor. You want it to be a little sweet. This is like a sweet treat, but it's a healthy sweet treat with protein. It's also got a lot of protein. Did you know that Greek yogurt has a lot more protein than regular yogurt?
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, it's got a lot. It's got, I think, 10 grams per cup or even more. I mean, it's a lot of protein, and regular yogurt just has a couple, you know, 3 or 4 maybe. So you really, Greek yogurt is what I have switched to because protein is really good for us. So, the reason I say to get full fat, like for snacking, you can get low fat or whatever, non-fat, but for this dessert, we want full fat because it's going to give us a creaminess like ice cream. You want this to be kind of an ice cream treat. Okay. So that's why I chose that. And I'm going to get a nice big spatula. And we're just going to put this whole Greek yogurt container right here on our parchment paper. And like I said, this one is flavored with vanilla and honey. I bought it that way, but you could add a couple of, you know, a tablespoon or 2 of honey if you have plain at home. It's okay. You could add a little vanilla syrup, like coffee syrup, if you wanted to flavor it somehow like that. You can always be creative with those kind of things. But I just think kids are going to like it a little better if it has been sweetened up a bit with the flavor of the honey or the vanilla. Because plain Greek yogurt is a little tangy. I don't mind it, but it's more along the lines of sour cream, you know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know if you eat much Greek yogurt, Jeremy, but
I do.
It's a good substitute for, you know, the plain kind for sour cream in your recipes and stuff.
For sure. Also, it could go well with your little your breakfast to be like a little sour cream addition to your breakfast egg fold up things there as well. Yeah,
definitely. You could serve it with that and just dip one of those into it. Maybe a little salsa on the side if you want to dip into that.
Yeah.
So yeah, good idea. So the little kids love dipping things, so that would be a fun idea to have a little bit of salsa or sour cream or plain yogurt on the side for them to dip into. So really, this is a fun recipe. In particular, I wrote on the website when I posted this recipe, I wrote, a preschooler could really make this if you kind of stood beside them and talked them through it, because this is easy. They do this when they're making stuff in the sand, you know, when they're playing. They're just, you know, making stuff and smoothing it out like that. So you could talk them through this easily. Now what we'll do is we will add some strawberries. I've got a little more than a cup here of sliced strawberries. Make sure to wash your strawberries really well. Some of my friends on my Mama Steph Facebook page saw me post a picture one day of what was left after I soaked my strawberries in some water with just a dab of vinegar in it. It was filthy. So you always want to clean your berries before using them. Even if they're organic berries, they need to be washed to get all the little sand pieces and dirt pieces off. You'll see how much floats out when you do that. So I'm just going to take these slices that I chopped up earlier and just kind of put them around this whole bark. Now, as you said, Jeremy, the one I made previously, I melted white chocolate and spreaded the white chocolate like this. I've done it with dark chocolate as well. And I think that was one I did for Halloween. I took candy corn and sprinkled it over the dark chocolate and let it harden, and it's a really good treat.
Yeah, that was real good.
This is a nice cold version. And it's really healthy. It's, you get, as I said, you get the protein from the Greek yogurt, and you get the berries, which have all that vitamin C, good for fighting viruses and stuff. And then I've got some mini morsels. These are just dark chocolate Toll House morsels. I got the mini ones just because they hold on better to something like this.
Oh yeah,
the bigger ones.
The smaller ones taste a little better, honestly.
Yeah, I think so too. It's not as overwhelming to, you don't get big chunks of the chocolate chips. You get the little ones and little melty pieces, and your mouth is nice. So that's really all there is to it. It's not that much chocolate, so you don't have to feel like, oh, I'm feeding my kids all of this sugar. It's just a little bit, and you've got it with the strawberries and the yogurt. So, man, that is just perfect, and it's really cute. And of course, I have a frozen one that I'll pull out here. And we will, you can see, as it froze, it turned a little bit more golden colored. This is really white, but this is a golden color, and it is frozen solid. And I'm going to set this one over here. I don't want to put it on that hot burner and ruin the yogurt,
Right.
You have to be careful around here. So let me see if I can, there we go. See how easily that came up because I had it lined with parchment. I love that. It's always nice to save yourself work. Now you have a clean pan. It's cold, but it's clean.
There you go.
And it was really easy to get this off of it. So pull that down a bit like that. Isn't that pretty, Jeremy? It looks it's like jewels.
And I love
it's
how
really
it did
pretty.
get a little bit more golden brown when it came out of the freezer.
Yes, definitely. And so you can either just break it, like break off pieces of it. Let me get like this. You can just have a piece like that, and everybody gets their own piece that they can have how much they want. Or you can cut it like this and make squares if you would like to. Either way is really fine. So I'm going to grab a little plate here for us and put our bark on it. I can't wait for you to try this, Jeremy. I think you're going to love it.
You and me both.
It's so cool and refreshing, and we're not like people who live in Maine or something. It is still hot here when it's back to school time.
Oh, yes.
We're not dressing in jackets and stuff yet. It's still hot as can be, as Kelly and Mark and Andrew and Cody keep telling us. They want it to be cold too, but we're nowhere near that yet. So a nice cold dessert like this is great. And what you can do is just put them in take a Tupperware container or a glass container, put parchment in the bottom, put the pieces across that. If you need to layer it, put another layer of parchment paper just so they don't stick to each other in the freezer. Keep it stored in the freezer, and then you can just pull out a piece whenever you want some. This would be great for you because this would last you a while at home by yourself,
Yeah, 100%.
And then if you have company come over, you just pull it out and say, here, have a delicious sweet treat, and it cools them off. And I love that.
You could, sweeten it up, obviously, but just as you have it there, it's not overly sweet, like just the chocolate chips. All you really have is added sugar. It's all fruit and then just yogurt, which is incredibly healthy.
Yeah, it's really, really healthy for you. And again, I keep talking about protein, but protein is very important for young bodies. It's important for brain development. It's important for muscle development. I know people like you who run, you're concerned about getting plenty of protein, right?
Oh yeah,
So,
a lot of them throughout the day.
Yes, and I see Cody as well, your running buddy, talking about that a lot too. So this is just one way that you can get a nice snack and get that protein in that, that your body needs. And so there we go. We've got a beautiful breakfast and we've got a nice treat for later on in the day. Kids can come home from school or you can come home from work, open the freezer and just have that treat. It's so easy to make and so delicious.